Coming up on 5 Minute News. Pfizer asks FDA to authorize COVID booster shots for all. Investigation finds Trump staff repeatedly violated Hatch Act. And France building new nuclear reactors to meet their climate targets. It's Wednesday, November 10. I'm Anthony Davis. Pfizer asked US regulators on Tuesday to allow boosters of its COVID-19 vaccine for anyone 18 or older, a step that comes amid concern about increased spread of the coronavirus with holiday travel and gatherings. Older Americans and other groups particularly vulnerable to the virus have had access to a third dose of the Pfizer and BioNTech vaccine since September, but the Food and Drug Administration has said it would move quickly to expand boosters to younger ages if warranted. Pfizer is submitting early results of a booster study in 10,000 people to make its case that it's time to further expand the booster campaign. While all three vaccines used in the US continue to offer strong protection against severe COVID-19 illness and death, the shot's effectiveness against milder infection can wane over time. Pfizer's new study concluded a booster could restore protection against symptomatic infection to about 95%, even as the extra contagious Delta variant was surging. Side effects were similar to those seen with the company's first two shots. A median of 11 months after their last Pfizer vaccination, trial participants were given either a third dose or a dummy shot. Researchers tracked any infections that occurred at least a week later, and so far have counted 5 cases of symptomatic COVID-19 among booster recipients, compared to 109 cases among people who got dummy shots. The Biden administration had originally envisioned boosters for all adults, but faced a stinging setback in September when the FDA's scientific advisors rejected extra Pfizer doses for everyone. The panel wasn't convinced that young, healthy people needed another dose, particularly when most of the world's population remains unvaccinated. At least 13 former Trump administration officials violated the law by intermingling campaigning with their official government duties, according to a new federal investigation released on Tuesday. The report from the Office of Special Counsel says the officials broke the law without consequence and with the administration's approval as part of a willful disregard for the Hatch Act, which prohibits government officials from using their official roles to influence elections, including supporting candidates while acting in their official capacities. The office investigated officials' comments in the lead-up to the 2020 presidential election, including the Republican National Convention, which was held at the White House in a major break from historical norms. While the Office of Special Counsel concluded that hosting the event at the White House did not itself violate the Hatch Act, it found plenty of other instances where Trump officials did, mostly by promoting the former president's re-election in media interviews, in which they appeared in their official capacity. The investigation also found that then Secretary of State Mike Pompeo changed State Department policy to allow himself to speak at Trump's convention, and then referenced official work in his speech, and it found then Acting Secretary of Homeland Security Chad Wolf violated the Hatch Act by presiding over a naturalization ceremony that was orchestrated for convention programming. The report notes the office repeatedly warned Trump White House officials about their violations, but that the former president, who is responsible for enforcing the law for high-ranking officials, never bothered to do that. France will start building its first new nuclear reactors in decades as part of efforts to meet its promises to reduce planet-warming emissions, French President Emmanuel Macron announced on Tuesday. He spoke as climate negotiators in Glasgow debate how to speed up efforts against climate change and amid concerns around Europe about recent spikes in energy prices and the continent's dependence on global gas and oil producers, including Russia. To guarantee France's energy independence, to guarantee our country's electricity supply, and to reach our goals, notably carbon neutrality in 2050, we will, for the first time in decades, revive the construction of nuclear reactors in our country and continue to develop renewable energy, Macron said in a televised address. France is more dependent than any other country on nuclear energy, but its reactors are aging, and its newest generation reactors are years behind schedule. Nuclear energy produces much lower emissions than coal, oil, or gas, but nuclear plants are very expensive to build and produce radioactive waste that remains deadly for tens of thousands of years. Politicians are divided over whether nuclear energy should be included in global plans to reduce carbon emissions. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen Podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.